7 weeks of the scale not moving at all will mess with your head. And it did a real number on me.
After almost 90 days of strict carnivore, right in the middle of what I call the halfway valley of quitting, we hit the dreaded stall wall hard. And we were this close to giving up. Then we stumbled onto something that changed everything. Actually, it was two things, two weird interventions that you won't find in the typical carnivore advice. The first one came from a bizarre reaction to something the entire internet calls the miracle cure. And that reaction sent me down a research rabbit hole where I discovered that even on full carnivore, we had accidentally been sabotaging ourselves with every single meal. We thought we were helping ourselves with the food we were eating. And the second thing was even weirder. And we promised ourselves we'd give each of those things a month to see what happened. And either way, we'd come back here and make a video about it. Thank God, standing here, we are reporting they worked, both worked, for both of us. And in this video, we're going to show you exactly what we did and why we think it worked.
And if you're stalled right now, one of these might be the thing that finally breaks you through that stall wall.
So stick with us.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sharrell. I'm 65 and spent 30 years as a labor lawyer, mediator, and judge before retiring and landing here in beautiful Lake Chapala, Mexico with my husband, Andy, and my medical service dog, Sebastian. I was a skinny kid, but in college, I'd climbed on the weight loss roller coaster and haven't been able to get off for 45 freaking years.
And I'm Andy. I'm 67 and on that same weight loss roller coaster, going through all of this right alongside of her.
And in just the past 10 years, we have both been up and down the scale 100 pounds twice. Last year, I was featured in Women's World magazine 3 times, and I even made the cover with Dr. Chafee for losing 70 pounds on carnivore.
But the minute the photographer left, we slid straight back into the carb ditch for 18 long months and gained back 50 pounds each. So we started this channel to figure out what we were doing wrong, keep ourselves accountable, and share what we're learning with you.
We aren't doctors or researchers, and we are not sharing medical advice on this channel. We are just two people on a teeny tiny retiree budget experimenting on ourselves to finally figure out what works. And you know what? We are succeeding. We are within striking distance of maintenance for the first time in our lives. When the scale didn't budge for 7 weeks, it really hit us hard. And I have talked about that halfway valley of quitting in other videos like this one. It's the moment where you've already done the work, you've already paid the cost, and nothing is happening. You're halfway to your goal, and the early excitement is gone. The thrill of those first pounds fades away, and you're still staring at a long road ahead. And these stalls, they follow a predictable pattern at our age, and I'm mapping the whole sequence.
We were standing right in that valley, and we were asking each other, is this even going to be worth it? Can we keep going? If Sharrell hadn't measured my waist so I could see that I'd lost over 2 inches, I don't know what I would have done.
Luckily, just when we were at our most discouraged, something completely out of left field cracked everything open. We tried apple cider vinegar, you know, the miracle cure the internet swears by. I put a tablespoon in a cup of water, and like the instructions said, we drank it. And I did a whole video, deep dive, so check that out after you finish this one. But the bottom line is that within hours, I couldn't stop sneezing, my eyes were pouring. We hadn't figured it out yet, and we thought it was pollen.
And I was coughing like I'd inhaled pepper spray. That first time we didn't know what it was. So we had the same drink again the next afternoon. The exact same thing happened. 2 bodies Same drink, same reaction, 2 days in a row. Not a coincidence. Critical data. So Sharrell did her research thing.
Down the rabbit hole I went, poring over all the research. And that's when I realized our bodies weren't broken. They were warning us. And to help you decode what your body is crying out for help about, we put together an 18-page guide called The Body Warning System Your Doctor Never Taught You. It shows you how to spot inflammation, red flags, signs of sugar and processed carb addiction, and underdiagnosed conditions like lipedema that millions of women have, but most doctors don't even know about, especially if you're over 60. Drop checklists in the comments, and I'll send you the link for free. While researching the apple cider vinegar incident, and I was looking at an article that lists the foods that are problematic along with it, I saw that every single food that we were eating on Carnivore was on the list. Our Costco frozen burger patties. We were thawing them and air frying them in big batches for the week. They have high histamine unless you cook them from frozen and eat them right away. The frozen salmon, the frozen shrimp, we were using them as splurges. High histamine.
The local, wonderfully affordable, and tasty rotisserie chicken. Since it's cooked and then it spends time sitting, it develops high histamine. Economical eggs? They're histamine incubators, especially the whites. And if you're in an inflamed, histamine intolerant condition like we are, they should be entirely avoided until you are healed. And the aged cheddar is a histamine bomb.
And there's more. Seasonings with garlic, onion, pepper, paprika, you guessed it. And those time-saving and economical batch meals and leftovers, they skyrocket histamine within 24 hours, even when it's in the fridge. And while in that deep dive, I read a report that nearly made me fall out of my chair because it said that a high histamine diet can cause a weight stall. And that's why 60-day stalls aren't random. There's a metabolic reason and a way to work with it, not against it. And we are connecting new dots. So hope's high in wanting to heal our histamine intolerance, if nothing else. We cut everything that we were eating except the burger patties because, in all honesty, that's all we can afford on our budget anyway. So we went from thawing and cooking in batches to cooking them one at a time, one meal at a time, straight from frozen in the air fryer.
If this histamine connection blew your mind, tap that thumbs up so YouTube shows this to other people over 60 who keep getting told their weird medical conditions and struggles to lose weight and get healthy mean they're just getting old.
So, not knowing if this histamine information would make a difference and desperate to break this stall, I expanded my research and I confirmed that we had already tried everything out there except one obscure reference to intentional calorie fluctuation days.
But real quick, before we talk about that, I want to cover why we didn't try fasting since it's such a common suggestion when it comes to stalls. It was a no-go for us because we've both spent decades wrestling with sugar and processed carb addiction. Fasting longer than 16 hours ramps up food noise, cravings, and would put us right back in the ditch we've pledged never to go into again.
And we can't cut our total weekly calories or we're going to tank our mid-60s metabolisms. When we started out of the carb ditch, we used a TDEE calculator and determined what we each needed for a 200-calorie daily deficit for slow, steady weight loss. So cutting daily, that's a hard red line we're not going to cross.
But that's where this food fluctuation plan that Sharrell found comes in.
The research reported that intentional and unpredictable calorie fluctuation interrupts metabolic adaptation, keeps the metabolism from slowing, and sends safety signals on the high-cal days. It creates the necessary deficit on lighter days, and it works even if you can't fast like us. And it breaks stalls, because our bodies are trying to outsmart us and survive. And the addict brains are in a fight for their lives. So we inserted a bit of metabolic misdirection into the mix.
Some days we eat double the meat patties, the next day half, then back to normal. Even if we're a little hungry, on the cut days, as addicts, it's better for us than fasting and setting ourselves up for binge eating or full-blown relapse. No schedule, no rhythm, nothing for the body to predict. And we told ourselves that we'd give it a month, but either way, stall, broken or not, we'd come back here and say so.
And here we are, thrilled to report that we broke the stall, both of us. Within 10 days, I had lost almost 3 pounds. My joint pain disappeared, and my split fingers, they started looking better.
Not only did the joint pain that had returned with a vengeance vanish, but I lost almost 4 pounds.
That was really exciting. We thought we were the problem, that we were too old, too damaged, addicts too far gone. But it turns out our bodies, they were just doing what aging and inflamed systems do under what they perceive to be threat, holding on to every calorie, protecting the fat stores from possible famine, and waiting out the danger.
The threat wasn't carbs this time. It was inflammation along with histamine intolerance. And we believe one or both things we tried made the difference.
If you have stalled on carnivore, ask yourself, are you eating ground beef, frozen fish, shrimp, eggs, seasonings, rotisserie chicken, leftovers? If you are, and you're stalled, try this. Just 30 days of low histamine carnivore plus that calorie fluctuation. Simple, strategic, sustainable, just a month. You can do it. We are here to tell you that it is worth trying. Because at our age, you know what? We can do hard things, especially when it would get us to some place that matters. Some place that puts us closer to our dream retirement. And I'm developing something for people like us, so stay tuned, because after gaining 50 pounds back, after 18 long months in the carb ditch, after almost 90 days of carnivore, and 7 freaking weeks stuck, breaking this stall felt like a miracle.
But it wasn't a miracle. It was a deliberate strategy. 2 intentional changes based on what our bodies were actually telling us.
And again, if you want part 1 about the full ACV reaction and how we figured that connection out, you won't have heard this stuff anywhere else. You'll see the thumbnail to click at the end of the video.
And if you know someone who's stalled, someone who's standing in their own halfway valley of quitting, share this video with them. They'll thank you for it.
And don't forget to drop checklists in the comments for the free guide. And if you're struggling, and I think you are if you are still watching this video, we invite you to join us on this journey to get off the weight loss roller coaster forever. There is a method to this that works for our age group, and we are documenting it in real time. Because together we can succeed, one day at a time, one meal at a time. And if you want to learn more about our journey out of the carb ditch and into carnivore, start with this video next.